What is going on, you guys? So today I have an interesting episode for you. So I want to talk to you a little bit about why we all have the ability to make it rain big fat checks. You know what I mean, for thousands, millions, maybe billions. We're all actually abundant, and basically you've been convinced that you're not, with society, government, etc. So what does this mean for everybody? We're all actually the same there. You were literally just raised potentially in a wealth mindset or a poverty mindset. So you got all sorts of examples like, money's the root of all evil. Rich people are bad. Like all these different things, and that's not true. Money is an amplifier of one's true nature, one's character actually. So how they would be if they were rich is how they actually are. Okay? So when you see someone's like really greedy and evil, that's just an amplifier of their true nature. Now, there's a lot of good people that don't believe that they can become rich. They would rather be right than rich. So what does this mean? Basically, the translation for this is they don't want to be exiled or ostracized from other people who think the same way. It's sort of like a evolutionary psychology, biological thing that triggers inside of us. So you think, I won't be a part of a community anymore. Won't be a part of the tribe. You'd be kicked out, or people will think you're crazy or weird. And there's a reason for that. They want you to stay programmed at this low frequency with them, because they don't believe it's possible for them to be rich in every area of your life, not just financially. So they tell you, I don't know if you should do that, man. Maybe you should try this instead. You want to move there? I don't know, man. Why don't you just stay at home? Stay in your hometown. No, don't try that job like that. I wouldn't do that if I were you. That's a scam. This and that. You sure you want to do that? YouTube? You really want to try to become a musician? Like all these different things, right? This is their limiting beliefs. Their poverty mindset. And they're seeking confirmation bias, which basically means they're seeking for their story of their entire life up until this point to still be true. And guess what happens when that story is no longer true? It's like you're poking a bear or like a sleeping baby. Like they're cranky, right? They're cranky, and they'll get really angry if you shake them awake, which is a direct translation to when people talk about like the non-player character, the NPC from a video game thing. There's a lot of people that are sort of like not self-aware and sort of sleepwalking through their life because of this programming. And we've all had abundance since our birth, right? So the reason that this is important is because if you don't realize this, you're going to remain one of the crabs in the bucket. I don't know if you've ever watched this, and I don't know if it needs to be next to some guy cooking up crabs, but if you ever have seen this, there's always one crab. There are a bunch of live crabs that are about to get cooked, right? And one always tries climbing up and grabs the top of the bucket and almost makes its way out. And then all of the other crabs bring it back down. That's all the people with the negative comments, the judgment, the insecurities, right? Because it's coming from a low vibration or a negative place. Or otherwise they wouldn't bother. And what the crabs could do is actually help each other all get out of the bucket. Check that out. Now, that's something worth mentioning here, because you're not going to be able to save everybody. You're not, this isn't like a savior syndrome thing. You help who you can help, right? So who sees what's going on, who sort of smells what's going on, with you, and you're on your way up, increasing your frequency, they might come along. They might see what you're doing. They might ask you, like, hey, how do you do that? Because that's the difference between someone in the low vibration and a high vibration. The low vibration would say, oh, he's just, he earned all his money in crypto, or he's a trust fund baby, or his parents paid for everything, or this and that. Da, 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 da. Yeah, you know how it goes, right? And then the people in the high vibration will be like, wait a minute, I can tell that this guy, he put a lot of, he put some real thought, intention, and effort into creating this lifestyle. How did he do it? I want to go ask him. And that's the difference. So those people, it's not about you picking them up and bringing them out with you. Imagine you're a hot air balloon picking up. Those people can grab on too and start to learn. And the other people will just basically fall off over time. So it's not your job to save them and bring everybody on the hot air balloon, right? It's your job to raise your frequency so that maybe in the future you can teach others as well who are picking up what you're putting down. They can smell it, they can smell what the chef's cooking. So that's all to say that we all basically can have one or the other, the poverty or the abundance mindset. And so a lot of people would rather be right than rich. So basically they're denying their own abundance to their limiting beliefs. They're creating resistance. It's like holding a cork at the bottom of the water. You know what happens when you let go of it, like a tank of water, like a wine cork, it would just shoot up and pop above the water. So basically you're creating all this resistance in your life, and it's not your fault. It's because schools and government and people in the background are wanting to. It's funny because they come across as really rich and wealthy people. There's good ones and then there's not so good ones. And the not so good ones aren't actually abundant, even though they're financially rich. They're in a fear state, so they're seeking to control the finances of the world when the world is already abundant. So you can tell that they're actually in a lack and scarcity mindset. So this all means, because you've been sort of programmed to have a lack mindset, it's your job to start waking up. You're exiting the matrix, if you will. And yeah, just to realize that you're very much capable of big fat checks, just like everybody else. Alright guys, so thank you for watching. Soon I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit more about this word serendipity and how it's not just lucky coincidences. But I appreciate you for making it this far. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. You got this, bro.